great results.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo!
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present!
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The pounding begins. The wagons are circled. Every wind is raidered. It's football time in America, and this republic has never been stronger. The Sportsocracy, Beer City's best sports talk, live from the Ingalls studio.
And it is ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. We are the Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, and join us in the chat. It is a Threadbare Thursday. That's why it's so important that you get involved and subscribe to the channel. Anything you want talked about today, we will work it into the schedule on the program. We've got all of the football to get into today. We're going to have a couple of guests coming up on the program. 4 o'clock, it'll be Tar Heel time at 1 o'clock. It'll be still getting used to the new schedule.
I was about to say, 4 o'clock, I won't be here anymore.
1 o'clock, as we do every Thursday at 1 o'clock. Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, will join us to get the table set for this week's Tar Heel action that you'll hear right here on ESPN Asheville. In the 5 o'clock hour, we'll start out with, the 2
times in a row.
2 o'clock hour. We'll be talking with Dave Mason of Bet Online about this weekend in college football, because it could be a doozy.
Oh, it's going to be a doozy for me. And you know why? Hit the button. Hit the button. Do it.
What?
Do it.
Oh, gosh.
You know what button it is.
I don't want to. I don't need to.
Oh, it's coming.
No, we're not. We're not doing that today.
We're totally doing it.
I don't want to do this today.
Because I will be in attendance in Clemson, South Carolina. Our great friend Melissa Lovell from Ingalls Markets, she hooked me up. Got some mighty fine seats for that there game.
There you go.
And I will be there. And hopefully be as obnoxious as you think I can be.
Well, you got to, you don't want to mess anything up. Like, she's got seats that are hers, like always, then you don't want to mess that up.
I don't know where these came from, but I specifically asked, hey, is this one of those where I have to wear Clemson things or just not Florida State? And she went, nope.
Oh,
nope.
Okay. All right.
She said, let your mullet flag fly, and that is what I plan to do.
Love it. Love it. Ingalls Supermarkets, low prices, love the savings, and love the hookups as well for Jeremy Green.
Very excited. Amy's selling her parents' house, which is obviously it's a trying thing. Mm-hmm. So it was very well timed.
Yeah.
So really for me, I got friends down there anyway. My best friend was in Dabo's security detail for an extended period of time. So if you ever wonder why I take extra shots at Clemson, it might be for that. Because I know there's a lot of Clemson Tigers that listen to this show.
Not just because you hate Dabo Swinney.
I don't hate Dabo. There's a chance I might see Dabo, and I would be cordial. Hey, good to see you. Maybe learn how the transfer portal works. It's probably a good thing for you.
You need to learn how to get with the times.
But very excited. This is, without a doubt, the greatest schedule in college football that I have ever seen, and very excited about it.
We got a lot of top 25 matchups this week, and we'll talk to Dave Mason of Bet Online about all the great matchups coming up at the top of the 2 o'clock hour.
There you go. Got it right. Third time's charm.
On this here program.
Captain Third Take. Let's go.
We'll play a fun game of either, neither, both. Later on in this hour, we also got some additions to some NFL teams to talk about. Maybe a possible trade of Jonathan Taylor, or at least there was some opining as to what trades for Jonathan Taylor might look like.
I always love when we do, hey, what would that trade look like? And you're never right, ever. 2 former GMs, 2 high-level beat writers, not even in the ballpark.
Yep. So Jeremy will, of course, do his best to rip that apart, all of the rumors, so to speak, coming up later on in the program. Tonight, week 3 of the NFL season kicks off. We got Thursday night football. Jeremy's Bangers coming up at the end of this hour. He's also got a 5 on it for the end of the 4 o'clock hour. That all your ways to make money today.
And the direction I'm going with Thursday night football might surprise you. These are always gross fest games.
They are.
And I see 10.5 and I go, huh. That feels like you're baiting me into something there, Las Vegas.
That's a major error in judgment, in my opinion. But, you are the guy. You do better at this than I do. Your Beat the Chief title last year.
Yeah,
proving that.
Yeah, we won't talk about last week because that was.
Can we?
Are you really going to gloat about that?
I'm just saying.
You went 6-10, and we're celebrating that.
I beat you.
That's not saying much. You know who else would have beat me? That penguin that picks football games.
Absolutely.
The dog that bounces balls off his nose and lands in a trash can. He probably beat me too.
All right, let's talk about this game tonight. So you got San Francisco, who had Dallas not destroyed both of the New York teams over the first 2 weeks, the 49ers would still be my number 1 team in the NFL. Going against the Giants, who started the season in a 60-0 hole, had to have the largest comeback in franchise history to beat the worst team in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, and by the way, they don't have Andrew Thomas. Yeah, you don't have your left tackle. You don't have your starting running back.
Yeah.
Yep, all that lends to San Francisco 49er blowout.
Just pounding that.
Yeah, if this was Sunday, I'd probably agree with you. It's not, and I don't.
It's not, and you don't. Look, I see every disadvantage for the New York Giants in this game, and no disadvantages for the 49ers.
Oh, I see a disadvantage. Oh, you want me to tell you what it is?
What is that?
Wink Martindale, Brock Purdy. You're catching a. Let me explain to you how that, not you, the metaphorical you, all you out there that listen to this show. On a short week like this, you're catching a kid who will be kind and say is limited. Even those of you that love him, he is a limited quarterback. So is Daniel Jones. You're going up against the defensive mind in Wink Martindale that can get really exotic with the defenses they throw at you because they've been implementing that for an extended period of time. You look at how the Giants' defense is set up. Yeah, was it bad against the Cardinals? Sure was. What does that do? That really swings public narrative. If I had told you 2 weeks ago that the New York Giants would be a 10.5-point dog on Thursday Night Football to San Francisco, would you not have said that was the most ludicrous thing you'd ever heard? 10.5 is a number we reserve for the Arizona Cardinals. Yeah. That's a number we reserve for the Houston Texans. I'm not telling you this game's even going to be close or ever in doubt, but 10.5 is disrespectful because you've seen a San Francisco team 2 weeks in a row that you caught Pittsburgh 2 weeks rest after the preseason, had a really good game plan, you came in and beat their brains out. The next week you catch a Rams team that I can't physically figure out how this good, and you struggled mightily. So either you're taking it that the Rams are way better than we think, or that wasn't overly impressive from San Francisco. Because you know what I'm seeing out of San Francisco?
What's that?
In that slot, that's a place. That's a place where you can do some stuff. Hey, where do the Giants do the vast majority of their damage in the passing game? In the slot.
Is it in the slot or is it with the running back?
Well, they have like 7 slot receivers, so that doesn't hurt.
Right. I look, San Francisco, I think that defense is out to prove a point. Last week was a bad matchup for them because they couldn't get the pressure that they usually get because Matthew Stafford was getting rid of the ball so quickly.
Okay.
He had like one of the shortest, what do they call that? Pocket times, I guess, in the NFL last week. Could not get home. He was getting the ball out. Daniel Jones doesn't do that. And I see a whole lot of opportunity for them to clean up last week.
All right, so here's what I just heard you say.
Mm-hmm.
On a full week, you couldn't get home against the worst offensive line in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you're going to against this team because
With a terrible offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Now, you had one last week. Name me a starter. Name me one starter right now for the Los Angeles Rams on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm. Noteboom.
Yeah, where's he
Boom.
play? Yeah, where's Joe Noteboom play?
Right tackle?
No. Oh, he's guard.
No,
he's guard. He's guard. He's
there
guard.
you go. He's a guard.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this going, I don't think this is the walk in the park that everybody else thinks it is.
Okay. I just don't see how you're gonna score, how you're gonna get offense going against this defense.
And how often do we do that? Where you look at a game and go, man, this is just easy as it could possibly be.
Yep.
And how often are those wrong? And this feels like the greatest spot for a sleepy San Francisco team to walk in and somehow be down at halftime, and we're all going, what is happening right now?
See, I don't know that you can. I don't know that narrative exists in this game. There's not a sleepy San Francisco team because they've heard all of this from their local media talking about, we didn't handle the Rams like we should.
I haven't heard a negative from San Francisco.
None.
Frankly, the only thing I've heard is they're the best team in the NFC. Look how great they are. Came out, killed Pittsburgh, then Pittsburgh beats Cleveland. Win a division game against a Rams team that is getting way more love than I understand. Yes, you're better than I thought you were. That's not a real high bar. And I don't know. I have a weird feeling about this game. Because I kept looking at I always hate when public narrative is all on one side.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason there are goal fixtures in Vegas, and it's games like this that are why. Because people will load up on this game. That hook is what I keep looking at going, I've done this too many times with Vegas. I know why you do that. You do that because you can't set this number high enough for the average bettor to be on the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. I would say you are the average wagerer.
Okay.
Fact or fiction?
Sure.
How high would you have bet San Francisco? How high could that number have gotten where you would still be comfortable wagering the San Francisco 49ers?
Probably 14.5.
I think it's higher than that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. If this was 16.5 and I told you had to wager this for your and had to bet your house on it, and you had to do it, you're telling me you'd take the Giants?
No.
That's my point.
No.
That's
really
my
wouldn't.
point. It's 10.5 for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're giving you that little piece of candy to get people like me to go, nope, not going to do it. Not going to do it. Not going to do it.
Okay.
And yes, the Giants got absolutely smoked by the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are going to get smoked by the Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Giants sleptwalked into the Cardinals game last week. And if we're being really honest, there was an interception that they ran back to the 30.
Mm-hmm.
And there were just a lot of things that didn't go the Giants' way. So when you have all this narrative that's on one side, very rarely does it pay off the way you think it will.
Yep.
I don't think the Giants are a terrible team, and I never have. I hate your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that you're missing your left tackle tonight. I don't love that you're missing Saquon Barkley. That means way more to you than it does to me.
It matters a lot.
I don't think it does.
Okay.
He's been genuinely horror-awful in the first 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Breida is not going to be significantly worse than what you have gotten from Saquon Barkley. And I'm not sure that it doesn't open up Daniel Jones because you stopped giving him 17 carries when he should have had 6. They couldn't run a greasy peg up a cat's keister, and yet you keep turning around and handing it to Saquon Barkley because you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're going to do that with Matt Breida? No. I'll get him out in the flat. I'll take advantage of one of the few things I've seen from San Francisco, which is if you get out in space, they can struggle because they are incredibly aggressive. They don't blitz a lot, but they are really aggressive to the ball. Catch a couple spots like that, I'm not saying they're going to win because they're not going to win.
Yep.
I do like the idea that they cover.
Yep. The entire left side of the offensive line for the New York Giants will not play in this game. Ben Bredesen also out.
That's probably an addition by subtraction, but that's
What are they replacing him
I
with?
don't care.
Really?
You.
Stop
It
that.
could be you, and I'm not sure that I care.
Stop that. If the left guard sucks, chances are you don't have a better option on the bench. So this is not going to be pretty.
Well, I mean, Mark Lewinsky's going to play on the left side.
Okay.
You'll get, what's that kid from the kid from Carolina whose name I can't think of right now? Marcus McCathan.
Okay.
That's who's going to play on the inside.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I don't love it against Bosa, but that also is going to change the play call, get the ball out quicker, just exactly like the 49 or just exactly like the Rams did.
Maybe.
You're not going to drop Daniel Jones back on 5 and 7 straight drops with a makeshift offensive line. When is Daniel Jones at his best? When you manufacture the touches for him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to sit here and read defenses. Get the ball out of your hand and make things happen. And there are enough playmakers on that team. I know we don't love the receiving core. They have a slew of threes, but I think it's enough. Again, not to win. I don't care if you win, because if that's all I cared about, I wouldn't watch a second of this game.
He's just trying to make the case that they cover the 10.5.
Well, I mean, you got to do something, because this is a horrible, horrible Thursday night game. Because there's no chance the Giants win this.
No.
So I got to find some entertainment here somewhere, or I'm going to spend my entire night watching the Georgia State Panthers and the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers.
Woo!
And I'm good. I'll wager and not watch.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, San Francisco defense eats tonight. Christian McCaffrey, he's making the dessert. And I guess Kyle Shanahan's just mopping the plate up with a biscuit. Because this is not going to be pretty for the New York Giants. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's Battle for the Belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels. Whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys. And we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles. Low prices. Love the savings.
Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there, and around there, and even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Welcome to this month's meeting of the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club. Bingo winners.
Bingo!
Instant winner.
Here.
Oh. Big money winners.
Yeah, I think they're in Tahiti.
Second chance winners. Second chance winners.
Present!
Every single time.
New scratch-offs mean new winners. This month's tickets are packed with over $98 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.70 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? I think my battery's dead. With free battery testing and charging, we can help you get back on the road.
Get in zone.
So what if I need a new one? No problem. We have the right battery for your car, starting at only $89.99.
Get in the zone.
And what about my old battery? We can recycle it right here at America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone. AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
The Sportsocracy.
Ice up, son. Ice up.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville.
We got our first one of these of the day.
Okay.
I'm your huckleberry.
Soaring Eagle sent me a slew of takes from the Denver Broncos message boards, which were hilarious to me. I always love when people take screenshots of message boards they're in. Tank does this with me every day of things he sees at Bucks Nation or whatever stupid nonsense you're in. It blows my mind how delusional a certain percentage of fans are.
Mm-hmm.
And Soaring Eagle gave me just quite the laugh at his Bronco brethren. And I'll give him credit. He's very rational. Everyone else in that thread, not so much. And Adam Salome asked us a fantasy football question. Start 2, bench 1 this week. Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, James Conner. This is really easy for me. It's not James Conner. And would you like me to tell you why? James Conner, Dallas Cowboys. The only 4 words in the English language that scare me in that order, or in a certain order, more than that, are 4 more of Biden. That's it. There is nothing else that terrifies me more than I'm counting on James Conner. I'm in danger. You could have told me that it was, I'm trying to, let's see, Taylor Swift and Kamala Harris. I would take them over James Conner, and I'm not kidding. There's a possibility that I outscore James Conner this week because there's no possibility for me to fumble a football. None. I cannot score negative points this week.
Yeah. Awesome.
I literally did that just for that joke because I thought of it when I read it. So make them laugh. Make them laugh.
Where's my? There you go.
There we
You
go.
feel happy now?
First bell of the day. I am like a dog. I need some. I need a pet every now and then. Good boy.
We've got 2 moves in the NFL to talk about. The which one do we want to start with here? You want to start with the one that's actually relevant, or the one that's going to spend the most time on the bench?
I don't think we're going to agree on which one's relevant.
Oh God, are you going Jerome Ford no matter what?
100%, I'm going Jerome Ford no matter what.
Stop it.
Okay, so your take is that so what we're talking about here,
the irrelevant
Kareem
one
Hunt,
is Cam Akers.
You're out of your
my God.
mind.
Here we go.
Okay, explain this to me.
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt didn't get the lion's share of carries over Dearness Johnson, who they cared enough about that they wouldn't pay him $1.2 million to come back. But you think he's going to start over Jerome Ford, who they drafted and then came out and said he was the #1 back.
Absolutely.
Fantasy football, I'm good. I picked him up in the Vampire because I don't have a lot of choices.
Right.
Kareem Hunt's a passing down back, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Does it not tell you something that they had absolutely no interest in him until Nick Chubb got hurt? Because there's nobody else on the roster.
Yeah.
So you think the guy they didn't keep is somehow going to jump the depth chart 2 weeks into the season ahead of the guy they did keep?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Okay.
Take everything I just said.
Okay, I'm going to use one of your lines. I feel like you're smarter than this. All right,
and
so
I would
we're
say
not
the
gonna
same
pay,
thing to you.
We're not going to pay Nick or Kareem Hunt $4 million to stay on this team. No,
worth up to $4 million.
Sure.
What's the deal outside of incentives? What is the deal? Because I already know this.
What is it?
1.5.
Okay,
that minimum. That's the minimum you could pay him to have him on the team.
Okay. Why are we going to keep that guy on the roster when he would be a higher paid backup than the guy that we drafted? Right? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it does, because you actually have an investment in Jerome Ford. He's on a rookie deal. And by the way, he's better than Kareem Hunt.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
In the offseason, before Nick Chubb's injury, they said we're not paying Kareem Hunt because we have Jerome Ford.
Yep.
Okay. Now, Kareem Hunt was mad the whole time he was in Cleveland because Nick Chubb was the guy, and he was never getting any work. Now he's agreed to come back because Nick's no longer there. They brought Kareem back because he's familiar with the playbook and because he's as good, if not better, than Jerome Ford.
Okay.
There is no more Nick Chubb to stand in the way. So this makes all the sense in the world to me.
Okay. So Kareem Hunt was on this roster for 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is now this will be his, fifth year? This will be his 5th year with the Cleveland Browns.
Yep. Okay.
How many games did Nick Chubb miss in the time that Kareem Hunt was on this roster?
Oh, I don't know. 12.
7.
All right. There you go.
What's the most number of carries Kareem Hunt ever got in a game? Ever. In all of those years, what is the most he ever got?
16.
14.
All right.
But now, it's full workload. In spite of the fact Kevin Stefanski came out and
workload?
So you're telling me this is the relevant one. He's the passing down back. That's all this is.
Okay.
They trusted Nick Chubb to be both. They don't trust Jerome Ford to be both. In terms of running between the tackles, give me Jerome Ford every week for the rest of the season over Kareem Hunt, unless he loses his leg in a horrible hay baling accident. I saw the Kareem Hunt thing, and we had just put out a fantasy football thing on TikTok right before this came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I laughed because I knew what was coming. Oh, you're stupid. Kareem Hunt said, yep, still don't care. Don't care, not even nary a little bit. Doesn't faze me in the least. Kevin Stefanski never trusted this guy, but he's going to trust him now.
Mm-hmm.
Make that make sense to me.
Because he has to.
He doesn't have to. He can trust the guy that he, by the way, pounded the table for.
Sure.
Jerome Ford was a Kevin Stefanski guy. Kareem Hunt was thrust upon him. Which one do you think is going to get the work? Because to me, it's Jerome Ford, and it's not close. I'll say he outtouches him 2-1 the rest of the season.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm out on that one.
You know what? I'll even put that on the. I'll put that on the board. 100%. Jerome Ford outtouches Kareem Hunt rest of the year.
All right, let's go 2-1.
I didn't say no. I said he'll outtouch him.
You said 2-1.
I know what I said. I'm not giving you odds. You're the one sitting here telling me he's the lead back. Jerome Ford will outtouch Kareem Hunt rest of the year. You take it or you leave it. It's totally up to you.
No, I'll take it. We'll put it on there.
But a guy that had more than, I think 140 touches was the most he ever had in any season with Cleveland. He ain't getting to 220 like that, especially when he ain't been with his team all offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a reason for that.
Yep. Wow. I was not expecting that.
Oh, no, the one that matters is Cam Akers, and it's not close because Alexander Madison sucks.
Worse than Cam Akers? Worse than Mr. 22 carries for 29 yards? Behind
I'm not sure that he does
a better offensive line?
You're trying to tell me the Rams' offensive line is better than the Vikings? Did you
they
smoke
are,
drugs before you came in here?
I think they are, aren't they?
Statistically, not close.
Really?
No. There's 4 high-level draft picks for Minnesota. The Rams are one injury away from starting me.
Oh, they got a lot of high draft picks on that team, but they're not very good.
Darrisaw was out last week. He's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Brian O'Neill's one of the highest-paid right tackles in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Garrett Bradbury, we've always said, is criminally underrated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sitting here telling you that Cam Akers is going to be some top 20 back for the rest of the year. He matters more than Kareem Hunt, and I don't think it's even close. Against Philadelphia, and I get that's a really good defense. I'm well aware of that. Alexander Madison looked like he was in quicksand. Now, so does Dalvin Cook, so I'm not sure you actually had any – I'm not sure there was anything you could have done there.
Mm-hmm.
But Ty Chandler's not good. Alexander Madison's not good. He's a fine spell back. And I will wager Cam Akers gets first-team reps with Minnesota within 3 weeks. And I'm not saying he's a better running back than Kareem Hunt. That's not my point. The situation is exponentially better.
Whew. We could not see that more differently because there's actual useful workload in Cleveland for Kareem Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Akers, I don't care who plays running back for that team. They're not going to be good.
Just Seacrest out on a line that we literally spent 2 years telling you was better than you think it is.
They ain't been good yet. And I want you to look that up. Look it up over there during the break on your PFF did an article earlier this week, and I can't get into it right now, of the offensive line rankings going into this week. Because I feel like all I have heard is that the Minnesota Vikings have been god-awful.
Well, I already had the Rams pulled up, which was pretty easy for me to talk smoke when I'm already looking at the numbers. They have one lineman that's above a 60.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, both tackles and both guards are in the bottom half of the league.
Yep.
Minnesota,
it's not a great. It's not great either way.
Brian O'Neill, number 1 tackle in football. Number 1.
Awesome.
Christian Darrisaw, he missed, I think, half the first game and all the second game.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the mid-30s. And then you've got 2 makeshifts at center. I don't have the starter pulled up here because he hasn't played enough snaps.
Right.
It's been some backup.
Right.
When Garrett Bradbury comes back, Minnesota's line is better. The offense is better. And I'm dumbfounded that that's the way you saw that. I saw the Kareem Hunt thing and went, genuinely, there has never been anything in the history of fantasy football that people will care more about that means less. I won't be shocked if Kareem Hunt doesn't hit 130 touches the entire year.
We shall see. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get just a bit outside.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
That guidance still suggesting we keep the rain east, so I'm going to keep the rain east of us. So if you are traveling later tomorrow night, at least into the beginning of the weekend, rain and gusty winds as you continue to head east. This afternoon, actually pretty nice. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds, 75. Tonight, 53, cooler spots, 40s. Tomorrow morning, a little fog, then sunshine, 75. Saturday and Sunday, sunny, highs close to 75. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Warning. If you are 60 or older, RSV can be a dangerous respiratory virus.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. This message is brought to you by Pfizer.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Tired of getting dinged by monthly fees on your checking account? You need Simple Checking from Home Trust Bank. With Simple Checking, you get all the essential checking services for free, including 100% online access and a free Visa debit card. It's everything you need from a checking account, but no hoops, no surprises, no monthly fees. Stop by today or call 800-627-1632. Simple Checking at Home Trust. Ready for what's next. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. You know, when you're trying to survive, sometimes you have to think outside the box, right? You got to come up with new ideas. You got to innovate, right?
Yeah, like starting Kareem Hunt in your fantasy leagues. Let me know how that works.
How would you do that? Why would you do that?
Yeah, let me know how that works.
I never said that. Jeez, that's putting words into my mouth. The Pac-12. Ah, yes, we're back to the Pac-12. How are we going to survive? Well, you're not, but the name could. There's a fight going on in court right now as Washington State and Oregon State want to keep the Pac-12 name going. They're the only two left. Everybody else is bolting for greener pastures. And you only got two teams left in this conference. They want control of the name because they think that it can help them, I guess, PR-wise, marketing-wise, down the road. Well, there's apparently a new idea, which is not a new idea. It's just an idea that, well, frankly, really has no chance to pay off, in my opinion. But I really want to see what you say, Jeremy, because I got a feeling what your response is going to be. The Pac-2... Woo! And the Mountain West, some of the decision makers are apparently already talking about a union between the two, which we've been talking. This makes perfect sense, right? All the Mountain West teams come into the Pac-2, and then you can spread it out to the Pac-12 again, and hey, we're all hunky-dunky. Well, no.
I don't know that I would call that hunky-dunky. That's like hunky, really bad facsimile of something that wasn't great in the first place.
Right. Well, now they have a new idea to generate interest, make some impact matchups throughout each sports season.
You're about to say something real stupid, aren't you?
The Pac-2 and the Mountain West would combine, bring in two new schools as well, so there'll be 16 teams, and we're going to do relegation.
Oh,
like
Lord.
Soccer does. So the two factions will still exist. There'll be the Pac-12, and then there's the Mountain West. They'll split up into 8 teams each, and every year, the bottom 2 and the top 2 will flip. The bottom 2 in the Pac-12 go to the Mountain West. The top 2 in the Mountain West go to the Pac-12. My question is why? Who do you think is going to be interested in this? Because they're throwing out all of this could create great interest in the matchups and blah, 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 blah. You're still, no one cares other than the people in that corner of the country, right?
Even they don't care. You get one.
I don't know about
you get
that.
one. Check the ratings. They don't care. 10 o'clock time slot games were completely irrelevant until Deion Sanders showed up. And I got news for you. There's not anybody with a 0.1% of the intrigue of that in the Mountain West or the Pac-2.
I mean, as I'm looking at it, I guess you could get some interest up in that Pacific Northwest region with this, because the idea is that the two that would come in to the new conference would be the top dogs in the FCS. So it would be South Dakota and North Dakota State.
Oh, they're both states. It's South Dakota State, North Dakota State.
Oh, excuse me. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits. They get them to come in, and they'll be the part of the new Pac-12, 16, 8. See, that's the problem. None of your numbers make sense, and it still drives me crazy. I'm still waiting on the Big 12 and the Big 10 to change their names, but we know that's never going to happen. The Pac-12 can stay the Pac-12 with 8 members, 2 members, 12 members, or even 15, 16. Doesn't matter.
Relegation is one of those things that soccer fans love to tell me how cool it is. It's not. It's not. It's stupid. It's stupid when soccer does it. It would be stupid if college football did it. It's just dumb.
Yep.
Dumb, 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 da-dum, dumb.
But this might be the biggest way that they could figure out how to make some money. Because it would be much more interest than we would have if they just joined forces, called it the Pac-12, and then we went, oh, goody. Now we get dogs in this conference are Washington State, Oregon State, San Diego State, Boise State. Woo! Aren't we just thrilled? Aren't you going to tune into that before you'll tune into, I don't know, USC and Minnesota on a 10 o'clock slate after they've joined the Big Ten? You're going to get dogged by everything.
Yes.
No one cares about your...
Let's see. What would I watch over relegation Pac-12 football? Let's see. Squirrel skiing, cornhole, the pickleball championships. There's basically anything on ESPN ain't the Ocho.
You'd be wagering on it left and right. You'd be all about it. Because in the end, it's much better than XFL football.
Oh, hey, the XFL and the USFL are merging. That's going to be banger. Did you see that yesterday?
And it'll get tens and tens of views.
They averaged 1 million too for the title games last year. I'll be honest with you.
How.
I mean, because people love football, and that is 22 dudes on a field with a football. It's the same way the Big Three gets more than 8 people to watch it. Hey, look, it's a bunch of dudes that played in the NBA when I was a child, and they're still playing. And they have the athleticism of a dead squirrel. And here we are just firing threes.
No, thank you. I think I'd rather crawl through the desert looking for water than watching XFL football.
I don't think I can say any of the things that I would usually say, for I would rather do blank.
No, you cannot.
Most of them would get me Elemento fired.
Indeed.
I'm your huckleberry.
There is it's from Soaring Eagle. One take he wants to talk about, which I don't remember what it is, and it's about Brandon Staley. We're going to talk about Brandon Staley in the next hour when we play either, neither, or both. So, Soaring Eagle, if you'll chuck that in the chat, because I don't remember what take you're talking about.
I thought we were going to play that right now.
Oh, well, we were, but we're running out of time because we've been talking about the XFL and relegation in the Pac-12. Which is sweet. My story is about the greatest player in the NFL. His name is Micah Parsons. We've seen Colorado and what they can do with Travis Hunter and his ability to play both sides of the football.
No.
And apparently Micah Parsons has decided that he also wants to do the same thing.
No.
He was on the Pat McAfee show yesterday and said, Big Mike actually let me get a couple scout team reps at tight end. He might not like that I let y'all know that. I probably shouldn't have spilled the tea. 100% you should not have told us that.
Mm-mm.
And 100% you should do that. If you're the Dallas Cowboys and you find somebody that can play with you, it's not going to be this week. You can take that little trick and carry it down the line a ways. You chuck Micah Parsons out there and you tell me the defense doesn't go,
What's happening?
What do we do now? It's a big, scary monster on the other side. I don't know what's about to happen.
Yeah, and I have no doubts that he can do it. But just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. I mean, at least not on a routine basis.
Yeah, I don't live by that. If I can do it, I should.
I disagree. Because you're going to end up getting him hurt, and that's the
How
problem.
are you going to get him hurt? He's playing tight end. Because here's what you're going to do.
I don't know. Somebody cuts him in half like they did Nick Chubb. You don't know.
Yeah, Micah Parsons, probably not the guy I would go low on.
He's the guy I would go low on because
you might also get killed on the field because if you don't break him, he's going to break you.
Yeah. Take my chances.
Yeah, I'm gonna
It's the only chance I have to move the ball.
I was about to say, at your size, let me teach you a little piece of advice. If it doesn't involve a gun, don't do it. Because if you miss, it's going real bad for you.
I'm just saying I wouldn't put my stud number one defensive player in the history of the world out on defense and just hope that somebody doesn't break him in half. Because it could very easily happen.
That's not how you're going to. If you ran a set for him, the only way it would go is that you put him in line, everybody sees 11 shows up, they piddle in their pants, and then you motion him out and run a fade route to him. That's the only way that would ever get. You're not going to. He's not going to be out here running slants to get hit over the middle.
No.
But I do see a path that, as freakishly athletic as he is,
or
you run him on a jet sweep and go, stop him.
But it's, I don't know. It's 4th and 5 in the Super Bowl, and I got to have the win. Okay, I'll take the chance now.
Oh, there's times I need points. I do love how anytime somebody does something that they're not expected to do, and all of a sudden landmines wind up on the field, and people are just out here exploding.
Yeah.
No, he'd be just fine. He's built like a Terminator. There's way more risk of him on that bend over the edge than there is him playing tight end.
I wouldn't do it.
I'd do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
It's going to look terrible.
I would be really angry at him that he said it out loud. Like, I had a specific plan for that, and it was against the Philadelphia Eagles, so I could give that Buffalo Bills peace sign double bird. Let's go.
To me, that's a gambler type move that you just don't mess with it. When you got one guy.
So J.J. Watt, you were never a fan of that either?
Nah, not necessarily. I mean, it worked, but
100% worked. Damn near every time they did. I think it did work every time they did it.
Every time? I don't know. Every time. I know it was, hey, look, there's JJ scoring touchdowns. Awesome. I don't know. I don't like the idea. I never liked the idea. I don't want my star player being out there more than he has to. And I guess if you have to and you're down to the end of the game, that's the only way you can score. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Not worried at
Built
all.
like a Terminator. I got a piece. I'm going to use it. Colin really wants us to talk about Pat Mahomes' new deal.
Oh, his restructured contract, which I told you was going to happen.
It changed absolutely nothing.
No, it didn't change anything. He stays with the...
Hey, and guess what? Let me tell you a dirty little secret. They're going to do it again in 2 years.
Yes, they are.
And then they're going to do it again in 2 years after that.
Yes, they are.
And then they're going to do it again in 2 years after that.
Right.
That was the beauty of the 10-year deal, is I can look at where things are and go, woohoo!
Yep. This was always going to happen. He was always going to get market value. It just depended on when do you set the stages, right? I got to wait. So I signed this big deal. I got to wait 4 years for people to start making more money than me, and all I got to do is sit over in a corner and go, hey, 2-time Super Bowl champion, you gonna give me some more money, right? Yes, sir, we are. Absolutely.
Look, the thing that the thing that people have to understand about deals and restructures like this, it has absolutely no effect on anything except rearranging the deck chairs. So you can push money, you can hold it, you can do whatever it is you're trying to do. Kansas City's going to continue to do this as long as that Super Bowl window is open.
Mm-hmm.
I heard, I don't remember who it was, I heard do a whole 15-minute segment on Pat Mahomes' new deal. And you do know that this changed nothing, right? Oh, but he gets more signing bonus here. Yeah, because you can kick that down the road if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Pat Mahomes' deal was the ultimate team-friendly thing I've seen any player of that level do outside of Tom Brady in the last 20 years.
Yep.
I thought one of these other guys would do it, but apparently not so much.
Yeah. So now Patrick Mahomes is making, what was the average, $54 million every year for the next 4 years. They'll come back and they'll restructure in a few years and give him the market value then when it goes to 65 or 70, whatever it is. They were always going to do this. And
it's a wise move from a really good front office.
Right. But did anybody sit back and go, well, how come Patrick Mahomes is getting, it doesn't seem like this was a fight, and it was a fight to get Chris Jones signed. What's the difference between those two players?
One of them is the second best quarterback I've ever seen in my life. The other is a really good defensive tackle.
Exactly. Like, I saw some of that attitude.
He's an awesome defensive tackle.
I saw some of that attitude on social media, and I just didn't understand it, not even a little bit, of why are you questioning paying Patrick Mahomes?
There's nothing to question.
No.
You
give
whatever
the man
he
his money.
wants, you give him.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just move right on along.
Yep. Absolutely. Smart front offices, they do stuff like this.
Kelvin Joyner was asking coaching candidates that will be replacing the guys whose seats are getting hotter. We're going to talk about coaches in the next hour.
Yes, indeed.
Because there are two, one in college and one in the NFL, that I fully believe you have one more boo-boo before the unemployment line is calling your name. Candidates, we won't know that for at least a handful more weeks.
Yeah. I mean, you have your short list of guys
Detroit
that
Lions.
are out there. Yeah, absolutely.
Aaron Glenn, Ben Johnson. That's the first two that came to my mind. Mike Kafka would be pretty high as well. Right now, it would be all the same guys that didn't get jobs last year.
Right.
The question is who jumps to the front of that line. If the offense in L.A. keeps doing what it's doing, don't be shocked if Mike LaFleur is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Which, don't do that. As a Jets fan that watched him, I cursed his name. Oh, I'm telling you right now, if you could read my mind and think and hear the things that I thought about Mike LaFleur, I'd be on a list somewhere. Because it was not good. Not good.
Not good at all. Yeah, there's only a couple of guys who are already there. I think the heat is turning up in a couple of other places, but right now there are two coaches in the NFL that are on the brink of disaster.
Well, you really think Stefanski is on the brink?
I mean, I feel like he is right there. He is on the cusp, and just one or two more bad things go. I mean, Deshaun Watson doesn't turn around something, or that offensive game plan doesn't turn around in the next few weeks, this is going to be the loudest story in the NFL because the other coach will already be gone.
Yeah, Brandon Staley, I hope you're renting because there's not a lot you can do.
I do. I think this is going to be a tight race between the two. I mean, depending on how things go, obviously.
Well, I mean, the thing with
to see
Stefanski
who makes it to the end of the year.
I don't feel like it's real hot right now, but if he lost to the Titans this week, it would get exponentially louder.
Mm-hmm.
If he lost to the Colts or the Cardinals a few weeks from now, then it would get really loud.
Ejector seat. Just boom.
But, I mean, for me, if he just does what you're supposed to do, beat the Titans, beat the Cardinals, beat the Colts, you lose to the Ravens, you lose to the 49ers, you lose to the Seahawks. All right, you're 4-4, and you're still very much in the thick of the playoff race.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could get fired at the end of the year,
mm-hmm.
but he's one of those that unless you do something real bad, I don't see how he gets axed in
How many
here.
more 4 turnover games than they go through with Deshaun Watson? And how many more times can he throw for 170 yards and them still win ball games when you don't have Nick Chubb beating down the doors anymore? Because it's going to take a step back. We all know that.
Not when Jerome Ford is exactly what I told you he was.
You're in the Sportsocracy.
After I saw it, because I was wrong when he came into the draft.
This is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got bangers for tonight's Thursday night football games. That's right, there's a college one too, coming up next. We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Our Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
Heart failure, carpal tunnel syndrome, shortness of breath, stomach issues, lower back pain. How does it all add up? If you have heart failure and any of those seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, it's time to talk with your cardiologist and get the full picture. They may add up to transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy. ATTR-CM is a rare and underdiagnosed disease. Recognize the signs and discuss them with your doctor soon. Learn more at connectwithyourheart.com. That's connectwithyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Tired of a job with no spark? Then join Emery Electric, the Southeast's premier electrical contractor. Competitive pay, a supportive team, and career growth await. Power up your career. Visit EmeryElectric.com/careers. That's EMORY Electric.com.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. QC Kinetics can change your life. You can live again without that chronic joint pain and without drugs or surgery. QC Kinetics is advanced regenerative medicine. They take your body's own concentrated healing properties and put them right into your joint to restore and repair that damaged tissue that's causing all of that horrible pain. The patient satisfaction reports are astonishing. Finally, a real alternative to the old ways of dealing with pain. And unlike surgery, there's no downtime with QC treatments. If you have constant pain in your knees, hips, shoulder, or back, you need to call and get a free consultation from the medical professionals at QC Kinetics today. Imagine this fall, moving around pain-free, doing the things you love again. Walking, hiking, playing with grandkids. Call QC Kinetics and see how the latest advances in precision regenerative medicine can attack your pain and bring you lasting relief. Now is the best time to get started. 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Coffee still closes on. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the woman.
Do you remember the 21st night of September? Well, there's a great chance you're not going to remember this one because we got 2 dog-water football games, but you could remember it for being really profitable. This is Green on Green, brought to you by Ingles Markets. Low prices, love the savings. The New York Giants travel to San Francisco to take on the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco, 10.5-point favorite, over under 44. With no Saquon Barkley, I don't really see a path that the Giants score a whole lot of points in this particular affair. The question is, can San Francisco cover the 10.5? That feels really high, and I may regret doing this, but Thursday night games, you get weird things that happen. I don't love Brock Purdy. I don't love the offensive line, and it's a short week. So I'm going to take the New York Giants plus the 10.5 to cover. If it was 10, I probably would have pushed it because I think this is going to end up being somewhere in the neighborhood of 24-14. That means I'm also taking the under 44. So New York Giants plus the 10.5. San Francisco wins outright under the 44. In college football, Georgia State is a 6.5-point dog at Coastal Carolina, over under 62.5. Let's start with the easy part of this. Georgia State couldn't stop a nosebleed with a roll of paper towels, and they run the ball a lot. So 62.5 feels really, really high to me. The offense has been good. They don't throw much. They run, which means the clock's going to run, which means 62.5 is too high. So I'm going under 62.5. As for who wins, Coastal Carolina, pretty well-rounded team. Their one loss is to UCLA, who is way better than Georgia State. And yes, Georgia State 3-0, but they've beaten absolutely nobody. So I don't really concern myself with that. I'll take the Chanticleers to cover the 6.5. I think this is a blowout, somewhere in the neighborhood of 31-13. For more, find us on all the social medias at The Sportsocracy. And as always, love the savings with Ingles, love the winnings with me. Mull it out.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
That guidance still suggesting we keep the rain east, so I'm going to keep the rain east of us. So if you are traveling later tomorrow night, at least into the beginning of the weekend, rain and gusty winds as you continue to head east. This afternoon, actually pretty nice. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds, 75. Tonight, 53, cooler spots, 40s. Tomorrow morning, a little fog, then sunshine, 75. Saturday and Sunday, sunny, highs close to 75. From the Weather Channel, Ray Stajic.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
You are a regular nuclear meltdown. You better cool off.
Kelley Blue Book is the one-stop shop for pricing, fixing, selling, and instant cash offering. Instant cash offer is exactly what it sounds like. An official offer to buy or trade your car. Just enter your VIN or license plate, answer a few questions about your car's history, and what kind of condition it's in. In minutes, you'll receive an offer to sell or trade your car that you can be sure is fair. Then choose a dealer to purchase your car and schedule a time to meet. For all of the its, KBB.com.
Coming to Hulu tomorrow and Saturday.
Don't miss our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The biggest superstars from all genres of music on one stage.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas.
Stream it live only on Hulu.
You will not want to miss.
Tomorrow and Saturday, starting at 10 p.m.
Capital One is a proud partner of the iHeartRadio Music Festival for the 7th year in a row, bringing great products, rewards, and services to its customers. What's in your wallet?
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingles Studio.
Welcome back into the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. It's 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy, heard everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, seen everywhere on YouTube. Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel so you can join us in the chat. Threadbare Thursday, so get your topics in. We shall discuss them. We are awaiting our weekly Tar Heel time with Jones Angel, the voice of the North Carolina Tar Heels, heard every game right here on ESPN Asheville. Also Monday nights, as you can tune in for the Mac Brown Show. Get all the lowdown on Tar Heel football. Number 17 in the country. Wins over South Carolina, Appalachian State, and Minnesota in the non-conference. And now begins conference play this week against the Pittsburgh Panthers. We got an 8 o'clock kickoff Saturday night. And pregame will start here on ESPN Asheville at 7 o'clock. Last week, the 31-13 victory over Minnesota. It was highly predictable, to me anyway. I thought
Minnesota would be able to do more defensively. That's a good defensive team.
Yeah.
They got the New York Jets problem. Hey, we're good defensively. We can't score to save our lives.
They did. They struggled in that regard, and UNC racked up 519 yards offensively. 414 yards passing for Drake May. He did have 2 interceptions in the ball game, which that's something that you never want to see from your starting quarterback. You always want to see more touchdowns than turnovers for your starting quarterback. But this team continues, to me, to prove that they're going to be just fine being the number 3 team in the ACC. As I said at the beginning of the season that I felt that they would be all year long. They could be number 2 in the ACC.
It really depends on what happens in Death Valley on Saturday.
I was going to say, because I honestly am not sure we've seen the worst of the Clemson Tigers.
Oh, I don't know. That Duke game was about as bad as it can get. I mean, look, there's a great possibility Clemson's going to beat Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
I have no misgivings to that. The little smelling salts game that Florida State got last week, that was probably not well timed for you.
Yeah.
because there will be no sleepwalking into this game knowing what can happen.
All right. Well, apparently our signals got crossed with Jones Angel. I have not seen the phone ring here while we've been on here, but I guess we'll catch up with him next time. It's all well and good because it's Threadbare Thursday here in the Sportsocracy, and we're going to talk more college football coming up at the top of the next hour as Dave Mason, who is one of the big dogs over at Bet Online. He's going to be joining us to talk about this historic week of college football that we have ahead of us. I think there are, 8 top 25 matchups on the schedule, something to that effect. 7, 8, something like that, where the matchup includes 2 teams ranked inside the top 25. 6 of them.
Clemson's not ranked in the
that's the one that I
poll.
was probably just chalking up in my head that was a ranked matchup because they are they're still like 28, 29. They're in the others receiving votes category.
They're really
of the
high
poll.
up there. They don't have a number next to their name.
I mean, as they should be.
I don't know. That to me, of all the top 25 matchups, I feel like I have a pretty good beat on all of them, except that one. Because to me, I look at the 2 rosters. Florida State's exponentially more talented, but you're on the road. You did not play well last week. And there is a path where you come out and things don't go well. And I'm real sad sitting in my seat listening to CLEMSON. Ugh.
Does it really worry you, though, that there hasn't been the quote-unquote great team step up yet this year? Because I'm hearing a lot of that from national pundits who are talking, well, there's no great teams in college football this year.
There's not. There will be, but there's not yet.
And I agree to some point because nobody's absolutely looked dominant. But
every one of them had that. I would say every team in the top 10 has had that game where you go, what were you doing there?
And that's kind of the point of my question is, does that really bother you?
No, this is the week where things separate.
I was going to say I'm not worried that some of these teams like my team Georgia or your team Florida State, you're expected to come out because you have all the talent in the world and you got good coaching and blah, 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 blah. You're supposed to just blow out these other teams. But I feel like there's honestly a lot of that, we don't really have to go all out to win this game.
It's not even that. You're catching different shots from different teams. All right, I'll start with your team.
Mm-hmm.
You play a South Carolina team that's coming into Athens. They were the last team to beat them in Athens.
Mm-hmm.
They have a really good first half where Spencer Rattler is difficult. Look, I know you've got a lot of snaps returning, but you don't have a lot of starters that returned on that defense because you lost so much. So they throw everything but the kitchen sink at you in the first half, and then guess what happens? Unravels.
Mm-hmm.
Florida State. You play Boston College in the red bandana game. You know what happened the first time they played one of those? They beat
lost.
number 4 USC.
Yeah.
In Chestnut Hill. So that's a narrative that people don't necessarily talk about of this game means more to them than it does to you.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to get the best shot from a Georgia, from a Michigan, a Texas, a Florida State every time they come out. You're not. There's no way to have that A effort every time you come out of the tunnel. The thing you have to be careful of is don't do that in a week that you play a team that can beat you. Because with NIL and all the things that have changed, South Carolina, I'll use that as the example. South Carolina is closer to the number 1 team in the country now than they would have been 10, 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because every elite recruit went to Alabama or Florida State or Miami or the high-end schools of the time. Now you don't have to do that. If I'm Spencer Rattler, I can rehab my career at South Carolina with a coaching staff I'm familiar with, make NIL money, and still probably make it to the NFL. It's just a completely different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
So you catch teams that have enough talent if you sleepwalk for them to catch you. That didn't used to be the case. I mean, I'm an old school Florida State fan. I remember the mid-'90s where Duke shows up in Tallahassee and it's hey, do we score 50 in the first half, or do we hit that in the third quarter, and we're all upset that we didn't hit the 5 on the scoreboard until the third quarter?
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case really anymore. So, am I alarmed by it? No, and I'm not really surprised by it either. The most consistent team has been Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Had we didn't do a power rankings this week, we do those about every other week with college football.
Right.
Had I done one this week, Michigan would be my number 1 team in the country.
We'll definitely have one next week.
Yes.
Because
this is a week where things
separation
actually
week.
sort out.
Yeah. This is a separation week.
I mean, how many teams that you actually thought had high-level national title hopes have lost a game?
None of them.
LSU.
And
they lost to another national title contender.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Alabama, if you thought they were a contender, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I mean, they were, because we give them that platitude. We give Nick Saban that, okay, coming into the season, you're a national title contender.
I have a question. Do you have a squirrel in your pocket? Because you keep saying we.
Stop that.
Specifically remember saying that's not a contender. You cannot be that bad at quarterback and tell me that you're going to be in the playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
you still had him at what? 6,
8.
7?
I had him at 8.
Well, there you go. I mean, that's still contender territory. I mean, if you're in the top 8, you got a shot.
You need a lot of help.
Well, yeah. Now you've already got a loss on your schedule.
Might have another one this week.
And that's
Just
where
throwing that out there.
I was getting ready to say was this looks like an Alabama team that if they cannot get it figured out on the offensive side of the ball, you can, and the decent defensive side as well, because the defense has not looked Nick Saban shutdown-esque in the first 3 games of their season. And now you got to face Ole Miss, who is going to run you ragged on defense.
They're real fast, and they score a lot of points. Now, they're not great defensively. But
you got to get over that hump. I mean, I see Ole Miss and I see LSU still on that schedule, and I go, those are your 2 biggest tests left. And you need to win them both, and I think you can lose them both.
All right, I have a question. I'm the one that makes picks.
Yep.
Looking at the schedule, what is your plant your flag spicy hot take for college football this week? I'll obviously give mine tomorrow because I'm picking every one of these top 25 matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have some that I dug real deep for. If you like banger segments where it looks like Jeremy might die at the end of it, you're going to really like the one this week.
How about Notre Dame makes Ohio State look so bad in their game on Saturday night that Ohio State is out? No one will consider them a contender after this, and they will drop out of the top 10.
Oh, so you don't just think Notre Dame wins. You think they'll embarrass them.
I think they will boat race them. I do. I don't. It's just one of those feelings that I have of everybody is putting so much onto Ohio State, and I really don't know what to believe. I don't know if you have that no doubt blue chipper Heisman Trophy candidate quarterback that you've leaned on for all these years. We know how great the weapons are, right? We know how great the stars are on this team. How good of a coach is Ryan Day, though?
I think somebody asked that question really vocally about 2 years ago.
Uh-huh. I don't know. It just stacks up to me like this is going to be all momentum Notre Dame's way. Maybe it'll be close through the first half, and then the second half, just Katie bar the door. What's his name? Estime runs for 3 tutties and just blows them out in the end.
And that's all Sam Hartman. That's your whole lean is that they've got Sam Hartman.
That's the main difference to me. To me, this team just has a different feel to it now. They weren't believers in themselves when they had Tyler Buckner going out there, or who was the other one? Who was the other? Drew Pine.
Oh,
How can you get behind a dude like that? You see Sam Hartman come out here with all the swagger and all the capability in the world. We've already talked about how he's the best quarterback at Notre Dame since Rick Mirer. Brady Quinn. Okay, maybe I'm going too far. But still, like he's in top 3 all-time quarterbacks that have played for Notre Dame. Top 4.
There we go.
Joe Montana, Rick Mirer, Brady Quinn, and now Sam Hartman, and he's only played 3 games with him.
I had a funny feeling that was going to be your answer. I didn't think you were going to say they blow them out.
Oh, yeah. I think it's going to be a dusting.
Interesting. I will give my pick on that game tomorrow.
Just had to ring the bell for you. Where is your bell, by the way?
I don't know. I rearranged my desk, and I have Starburst straws and a bunch of vape pens and a slew of Sharpies. I got more Sharpies than any person that's above the age of 6 years old on this planet. But I don't know where any of my things are.
Yep. You got what we said, 6 games featuring top 25 teams on both sides of the ball. And then I feel like there's some sneaky good ones that are going to be thrown in there as well. Texas and Baylor in Waco. Something tells me that is just going to be one of those nasty games that you're going to be like, maybe.
You ever try to feed a dog a pill that really doesn't want that pill?
Really? You think Texas should go boat racing?
56-5.
Jeez.
Baylor can't score. Physically, they cannot score.
Mm-hmm. Good defensively, though. If they can limit Texas.
They gave up 42 points to something called a Texas State. Yeah, I'm good. You gave up 42 points to the 18th best team in the state of Texas. I'm going to pass on that. Because I have a feeling, Quinn, you were just going to come out and go, boys, I really don't want to play in the second half, so let's just go
turn it over.
I'll put it this way. I couldn't even pick that game.
Really?
I looked at that number and went, I don't love the number.
What is the number?
15.5. And as soon as it swelled over 14, I went, nope, and I'm out. Because that has backdoor cover written all over it, where Texas is up 42-10, and somehow Baylor closes. And frankly, I'm just going to be honest with you, I'm tired of catching bad beats. I think I've had more this year than I've had in the last 3 years put together.
Don't tell me you're upset about the Rams kicking the field goal.
I'm not ready to talk about it.
Oh, no.
I'm not ready to talk about it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Sean McVay. And by the way, his explanation on that was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Well, we were trying to come down and get the 2-for-1. Of course you were. That doesn't answer why you kicked the field goal with 4 seconds, you jerk.
Because
you're a jerk.
We were already in the mode, and I got this kicker, and I want to get him some snaps, and,
Because you're a jerk.
Fine.
With your goofy haircut.
Your bet.
And your cool guy shirts. Bankrupting my family. That's on you. You did that. I was right.
And I see things like that, and I go, yep, see, that's why you shouldn't gamble. That's why you shouldn't do it.
I disagree. Because it feels real good when you're on the other side of that.
I lost a lot of money on a useless field goal, but it was all worth it.
That's all
I hear when I hear you say that.
Hey, it all evens out. Evens out.
Ugh. It's the thought of, I'm so cheap, the thought of losing money just makes my stomach turn.
It all comes out in the wash.
Here just throwing them out like he's at the strip club.
Hey, if you saw Bet Us accounts, a few other accounts, you would think Jeremy had a lot of money. And then you would see his bank balance and go, nope. That's all fictitious funny money. That's not real life dollars. That's a guy that still rolls quarters.
You're at the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville.
The season we've all been waiting for is here. No, not that one. The season of the Big Orange Tent is underway in Western North Carolina. The area's largest selection of Halloween costumes, decorations, and accessories is at the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. Halloween Express is your one-stop shop for adult and child costumes, superheroes, horror icons, inflatable suits. You can find it all under the Big Orange Tent at the Asheville Mall. 10 to 8 Monday through Saturday, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Our communities are filled with wonderful people who make living here great. At Home Trust Bank, we're proud of that. And that's why we focus on helping homeowners prepare for what's next. Our local mortgage bankers have the experience you need and exceptional personal service you'll appreciate. Home Trust Bank is ready to help make a house your home. When it's time to buy, visit your local Home Trust branch or go to htb.com/mortgage.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop Klein Tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29, subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
Did you know COVID-19 related ER visits are 3 times higher than the flu? Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna, proud sponsor of the iHeart Radio Music Festival.
Is joint pain, soreness, and achiness getting in the way of your best life? Football legend Emmitt Smith refuses to back down to pain. That's why he's a huge advocate for QC Kinetics and their natural approach to getting you relief.
Look, we get one trip around, so I wouldn't ever let pain stop me from hanging out with my race team, traveling with my family, or golfing with my friends.
Emmitt's got it right. And QC Kinetics uses regenerative medicine to relieve that never-ending pain in your knees, hips, shoulders, and back. And the best news, there's nothing foreign being introduced into your body. Just your own body's natural healing properties. No surgery or no downtime.
If pain's holding you back, maybe it's tennis, pickleball, running, hiking, or spending time with special people in your life, what are you waiting for? This is precious time. Get out there and get over to QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
Spring fire season is here, and you are the best defense against wildfires. Make sure to have a water hose, bucket, steel rake, and a shovel for tossing dirt on the fire. Keep your phone with you in case you need help, and never leave a fire unattended. Learn more at ncforestservice.gov.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts.
Free playlists.
Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
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 Free never sounded so good.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cott?
It is ESPN Asheville. You're in the Sportsocracy. Tank Spencer and Jeremy Green. It is it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a Threadbare Thursday. You got a topic you want talked about, throw it out to us in the chat on the YouTube stream. If you can't get into the chat, it's because you're not subscribed to the channel. Go to the
And you can't see all the foolishness that we do on a daily basis.
That's right. That's right. You gotta go to the sportsocracy.com, click the live video link. Once you're through to YouTube, just subscribe. That's all it takes. Join the over 41K people who have. Are we saying it that way now?
4.1.
Like what is that?
If it was 41.
Oh yeah, 4.1K. Excuse me.
At 41, we would be in significantly different shape.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, 4.1K people, tens of views in this here channel.
Bingo.
Come on down. Join us in the chat each and every day. Like I said, Threadbare Thursday. Get your topics in. We'll get to them before the end of the show. Jonathan Taylor, what is going to happen with him?
We're getting closer.
The Indianapolis Colts. He's coming back in week 5, or at least that's when he's scheduled to come off of the PUP list, the physically unable to perform list. He'll come off in week 5, and then what?
Well, one of the interesting things that I've seen over the course of the last 48 hours is ESPN puts out an article of what could a trade look like for Jonathan Taylor. And some of these are insane.
Okay.
Dan Graziano. Cleveland Browns give up a second-round pick in 2024 to get Jonathan Taylor. Do you remember what happened the last time the Browns and Colts made a running back trade? I don't think anybody wants to rehash that.
Trent Richardson?
Yeah, bad. Not good. Not good.
Yeah. I would say this is a little different than that, but
I don't.
Really?
Well, because that's under the assumption that Nick Chubb's just not coming back. You owe him $12 million next year.
Well, the idea here is that you get Jonathan Taylor for the year.
So you give up a second-round pick for a running back for the rest of the year. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody say. Yeah. and I'm not pointing that at you, Dan Graziano, who I think is a very smart guy. No, that's not quite how that's going to go.
Or might be a hell of an idea for the Cleveland Browns just to go, I don't know if Nick Chubb can come back from this.
He'll be fine.
Maybe we need to plan for the future. Again, when you remove a guy's leg from his body twice in one career, putting him back together, at some point he'll fit no more. I hate to sound like a doubter on Nick, but yikes. I'm pulling for him. Kansas City Chiefs from Jeremy Fowler. He says Indianapolis gets a 2024 third, a 2025 third, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Well, the last part of that's completely irrelevant. I don't know why you would send us a running back that we don't want for a running back that we also don't want.
Well, I mean, Evan Hull just went, he's done for the season. Torn meniscus, they just ruled him out for the rest of the year.
This team ain't trying to win. All right.
I get it.
It's Zach Moss and whatever it is that Deion Jackson is doing when he catches carries.
I mean, but don't you have to try to be decent at football?
No, why? Why would I do that? I have a young quarterback that needs a weapon. There's one coming in next year's draft class who just so happens to have the same name plus junior of the best one in the history of our franchise. Bad. Mm-hmm. By the way, that might be why you trade for Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Because you think Deion Jackson's bad? Check old CEH out there and see how it goes. Oh, he's awful.
Is he worse than Deion Jackson?
If you can't run with Pat Mahomes, you think you'll do it with Anthony Richardson? Really? Oh, really? I'm going to beg to differ.
I was going to say, I still think he's better than Deion Jackson, though. Pittsburgh Steelers from Seth Walder.
This one actually makes a shred of sense to me.
Indianapolis gets a 2024 fourth-round pick and Najee Harris. Pittsburgh gets Jonathan Taylor.
Now we're completely rehashing the Trent Richardson deal of, hey, this guy looks like what we got in Trent Richardson. I don't think Najee's just done. A lot of other people seem to. I saw some burst at the end of that Browns game. It's just blame Canada. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. If you run a guy into the guard every single time he gets the ball, it's probably not going to go well after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
The only problem with that is, so you're trading a running back that you know is good for one that you think might be good, and you have to pay him 1 year later. Yeah, that's where that falls apart to me.
Mm-mm.
That's where that just completely falls apart to me. Then you get two from the Miami Dolphins. I'm gonna throw the second one out because it came from Mike Tannenbaum, who is probably my favorite punching bag in all of American media.
Ooh,
24 second-round pick and Javon Holland.
Stop.
They would burn your stadium down.
Yes.
Javon Holland's one of the best young safeties in this league. And you're giving him up for a running back that you have to pay?
No, thank you.
Stop.
Now
Yates.
Yeah, the other one from Field Yates, a conditional 2024 second-round pick that could become a first-rounder. And Miami gets Taylor.
That one I get. I just can't believe Miami's giving up more draft capital for a running back. If you were going to do that, why'd you not do it before the year?
Mm-hmm.
And also, why would you do that the week after you saw Raheem Mostert probably have the best game he's had in the last 2 years?
The problem is you never know how long that's going to last. And
because he could get hurt.
Right, that's where I always come down. And,
if Raheem Mostert got hurt and you already had Jeff Wilson on IR, okay, now we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
Till that happens, I don't think Miami's in on this. You want them to be. We talked about Miami from the jump.
Because it makes the most sense. Miami would be a team that will take the swing trying to be, if they feel like they're falling behind, which I don't think they can at this point, after what happened to Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. And then,
Miami just doesn't have to do it.
Right, and then Buffalo, whatever they're doing, I don't feel like you should feel pressure to do this right now. But it's a hell of a thing to consider in the next couple of weeks, especially if you trot Raheem Mostert out there again this week and maybe he doesn't perform.
Now, I'm going to give you a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
And you love to do on these when I throw them out there. When does Jonathan Taylor come back?
Week 5.
Week 5. There's a team that plays on Monday Night Football this week
mm-hmm.
that just traded their running back and has shown a proclivity to really like chasing after big-name players. If the LA Rams were to beat the Bengals this week, they will beat the Colts. This Colts are bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're 3-1. Don't be shocked if it's the LA Rams. Don't be shocked if they beat the Colts, and some point during that game you have a hush-hush meeting behind closed doors going, hey, you know, we were really after Christian McCaffrey, and that didn't work out, and now he's in our division, and we have to deal with him. It'd be awful swell if we had one of those. The Rams throw draft capital around like it's packs of salami.
It's not a bad idea.
It's the one that I keep coming back to going, you know, if this team's 3-1, I won't be shocked if they rehash that.
Yeah, especially if they're, like you said, they're 3-1 and Chris Cooper Kupp's coming back off of the IR. What? Week 5, right? And he week 5 destined to be back as well?
Yes.
Who do they play in week 5?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't either. That's why I'm clicking on it to see who they play in week 5. That's the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean, if you're 3-1 wanting to make a statement, the Philadelphia Eagles are a hell of a team to do that against. Okay, I'm getting with you on this conspiracy theory thing.
I this is one of those that I saw it, and once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. Because there's only so many teams that value that. And I know somebody's going to say, but Kyron Williams has been so good. He's still the spellback. You got to remember, they believed in him so much that they put him behind Cam Akers.
Mm-hmm.
So you really should take the things teams show you and run with that. Oh, we've been trying to trade Cam Akers for 2 years. You do get he was still your starter, right? Like, you filled that depth chart out, not us. We didn't guess, and you had to do what we told you. You told us how you felt about Kyron Williams. You also chased Christian McCaffrey last year.
Mm-hmm.
So don't be shocked. And that could be complete conjecture, but there's not really anybody else on that roster. It's him and Zach Evans, and they haven't shown any desire to get him touches.
I'll be honest with you. It makes way more sense than anything else I've heard.
I think it does, too. It makes more sense than Miami. Makes more sense than Miami, because if Miami felt this way, they would have done it in the offseason.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have waited 4 weeks for no reason.
To me, it's close. Miami will make a lot of sense depending on what happens with their running backs over the next couple of weeks. But as far as the Cleveland Browns, to me, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Cleveland makes no sense. They're rolling with Jerome Ford. I swear to you.
You said Kareem Hunt wrong.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I said what I meant, and I meant what I said.
Okay. We'll look for that. LA Rams could be in the market for Jonathan Taylor. So says Flostradamus.
That's just, it makes so much sense that it's almost unsettling.
You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. When we come back, it'll be time to get weird.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
That guidance still suggesting we keep the rain east, so I'm going to keep the rain east of us. So if you are traveling later tomorrow night, at least into the beginning of the weekend, rain and gusty winds as you continue to head east. This afternoon, actually pretty nice. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds, 75. Tonight, 53, cooler spots, 40s. Tomorrow morning, a little fog, then sunshine, 75. Saturday and Sunday, sunny, highs close to 75. From the Weather Channel, Ray Staging.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. MVP's bonus days are back at Lowe's. Shop Klein Tools and get 5 times the bonus points. Lowe's knows pros. Bonus points calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. Valid 9/18 through 9/29, subject to change. DeWalt offer valid through 10/11.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage. End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Gillette Intimate gives guys a gentle and easy shave on there. And around there. And even under there. Don't treat your groin like junk. Respect it with Gillette Intimate, the best a man can get. Buy now at a retailer near you.
Attention, it's time for the morning announcements. Make sure your parents are aware of the Ingalls Tools for Schools program and ask them to link their Ingalls Advantage card to our school. Remember, you have to do it each year. Now please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We're back counting down to kickoff. Let's look at today's 3 keys to premium pre-gaming with Beast Unleashed, presented by Monster Brewing. Number 1, beat the heat.
Unleash the beast with bold, familiar flavors, 0 caffeine, and 0 sugar.
Number 2, running the option.
There's 4 to choose from: White Haze, Peach Perfect, Scary Berries, and my personal favorite, Mean Green.
And number 3, at 6% ABV, Max Protect.
Always drink responsibly, and you must be 21 or over.
Beast Unleashed, available at your local retailer.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I'm Clarissa Hyatt-Zach with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It is the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. And it's time to get weird. I-40 is the most dangerous road in America. We all know this. It's the highway that stretches from Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way to, is it San Bernardino, California, I think is where it dumps out, running the entire span of the United States. And, of course, it has more crashes than any other roadway in America. In Oklahoma the other day, there was a rollover crash on I-40. This was on a Wednesday afternoon. And, of course, when traffic gets jammed up, you gotta, near the big cities, you gotta send the traffic copter out there, right, to report the scene, tell everybody what's going on. Well, there's a funny exchange that happened when the when the ladies back in the studio are asking the reporter in the chopper to describe the scene of this crash. He sounds a little bit hesitant to me, and he plays it off like he can't really tell what's on the highway. But I got a good feeling he knew exactly what was on the highway, just didn't want to say it. I'm gonna play you the audio, let you decide. So he's given his report, and now it's time for the ubiquitous follow-up question from the studio.
Jim Garpoint live from Bob Mills, Scotty's 9, back to you.
Jim, can you tell what he's carrying there? What's all over the road?
Come on.
It's a mess for sure. That's the latest. I-40 eastbound.
Well,
looks like some...
we're zooming in. Not really.
Yeah. Not really. It's kind of easy to tell what's on the highway because it's a lot of boxes. And yes, when the bigger boxes are opened, there's smaller boxes. And there's little tiny tubes of stuff that look like some sort of a cosmetic product. And when the tinier boxes inside the bigger boxes are broken open, it looks like a lot of fallacies all over the highway. So this place was in Oklahoma, headed toward what is described as, quote, a major adult product focused distribution hub. There were dingers and lube all over the highway, and it took forever to clean up that job.
There's just another thing that the price is about to skyrocket on.
My grandmother used to have a saying when the roads were real slickery, she would always say that was slicker than owl stuff and not say stuff. I got a feeling that this is a little slipperier situation than that. Yeah, he knew exactly what was in there. There's no I
don't know how to say what it is on the roadways.
It's stuff. There's stuff on the highway. Girls, back to y'all.
My story is a follow-up to a story we told you quite some time ago. It's about Danish artist Jens Heining. Maybe you remember him. He was the artist that titled a piece, "Take the Money and Run." A Swedish art museum had commissioned him to do a art piece about money and capitalism. Well, here's the part of the story that we didn't know when we told you this the first time. So we told you that they had given him 500,000 kroner to do this artwork. What we didn't tell you is that he was supposed to use the cash in the piece. He was supposed to take this and somehow put it on the canvas, and it was supposed to be an artistic expression about capitalism in the modern world.
Aha.
Well, instead, he took the money and put it in his pocket and gave them a blank canvas and called it "Take the Money and Run."
There you go.
He has now been ordered to repay all 500,000 kroner to the art museum that gave it to him. Where do we draw the line on art? Because frankly, if I'm the judge, innocent and hilarious. I just brought you a blank canvas and said, "Take the money and run." That's what I did. And you're stupid for handing me real money.
I've always felt like art by explanation is not art. If you have to tell me what that is, not art.
I mean, my line's dogs playing poker. That's art.
Yeah, but I'm a simpleman. So
I
look at a canvas, and if it's a beautiful Bob Ross painting, I can go, oh, look, there's happy little trees and mountains. And look at that little squirrel just sitting off in the corner somewhere all by himself, chewing his nuts. Like, those. What? Did I go too far? Sorry.
Nope. I'm thinking about
to me, that's
cutting this later. I have a feeling that is going to be used against you at some point.
To me, that's art. You can't put a bunch of squiggles on paper like Jackson Pollock and go, this is capitalism's detriment to society. No.
It's the downfall of capitalism.
You threw a bunch of paint at the canvas like a 2-year-old and are expecting me to buy it for $1.7 million.
I think I'm going to commission my own. I'm going to commission my own artistic piece. I'm just going to draw a stick figure drawing of Joe Biden and call it "The Downfall of Capitalism." It's an original Jeremy Green.
It's an original. Yeah, not art. Not art. Art takes talent. Art takes effort. And I don't know that there's a lot of what?
Art takes talent. No, it doesn't. There are many people that just go, splotch, splotch, give me $1 million. And people buy it.
Again,
you
like
know
I
why?
said.
Because they're crazy.
Like I said, that's not talent.
I would rather take that $1 million and wager it on Ole Miss this weekend against Alabama.
There you go. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Look, what do I know about art? I mean, hell, I don't think it's poetry unless it rhymes.
Correct.
So,
and you dress like a middle school PE teacher.
Damn right. Dress for comfort.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway.
Uh-huh. What you got?
No, you've become the offensive one somehow. I don't know how that happened, but the professional comedian now is not the one that people have to turn down at work, which was just said by Notorious B.I.G. in our YouTube comments.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I love this take from Denver Donkeys. Let's give them a little bell ringing here. It is a racket. Most high-priced modern art is used to evade taxes and launder money anyway.
Correct.
Yeah. I see no lies in that statement. Adam Black in the YouTube comments. It is a Threadbare Thursday here. If you got something burning that you want to talk about, throw it into the chat. And he's burning about Brian Burns. What have we heard is going to happen?
You're not going to hear anything during the season. It's contract. I mean, when was the last time you saw a high-level contract extension done during the year?
Patrick Mahomes.
That's not a contract extension. That's a renegotiation of a deal that's already happened. You're starting from nothing, and they were far apart in the offseason. So, I mean, from what I have heard, there is confidence that they'll get it done in the offseason, but I don't think you're going to hear anything during the year unless something vehemently changes.
I don't really see how Carolina moves on without him.
No, they'll get it done. It's just going to take a while.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's time to play a game that we've been teasing for 3 days, and it's time to finally pay that off.
That's right. Either, neither, both.
I start with a very simple question, and it is a battle of you versus me.
Mm-hmm.
Of the two national title contenders that have given us real angina over the last week, either, neither, both, which one are you legitimately scared about? Georgia or Florida State?
Well, I don't know that I have genuine concern about either of them. So, neither, I guess, is my answer here. Because I look at these two teams and I go, okay, so you didn't beat the snot out of South Carolina like you were supposed to. Maybe the scoreboard didn't look as lopsided in that 46-3 victory over Ball State as long as I wanted it to be there. I really don't feel like these teams care about these games. I mean, you want to go out there, you want to perform, you want to get you're just focused on your operation at this point, the mechanics of it all. Let's get it all laid out, and let's find the way when we actually have opponents to worry about in the future. Now, Florida State has already stood up against great competition in LSU and won that game. I'm not concerned that they didn't look as sharp last week.
My concern from last week would be neither. My concern from what I have seen of both teams is both.
Okay.
Because they both, if they play down to the level of their competition, will get got.
Mm-hmm.
Talent-wise, that's the two best teams in the country, and outside of Michigan, I don't think there's anybody close.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are huge deficiencies with USC and Texas. They're both great, don't get me wrong, but you have liabilities that those top three teams I just said don't have. But I am scared that you don't look as crisp as I would expect you to. Florida State has a chance to shut that up this week.
Mm-hmm.
I will be in attendance, Death Valley. You come in and beat the smoke off Clemson, which you should, and all that will get quiet.
Yep.
And we'll be back. You'll have the best set of wins on the board. Even a 2-loss Clemson team is a better win than any of these other teams have. And you have LSU to hang your hat on as well. If you come out and fall flat, that same old Florida State, Willie Taggart, earlier in the Norvell era, all that will get really loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure there's a team with more on the line this week than Florida State.
Okay.
And as a lifelong fan, I'm scared. I don't want them to throw things at me, and I'm going to be there wearing Florida State stuff.
Yeah.
It might be nice to me. I'm a fragile flower.
Yeah. Those words you've never said before.
I've said them a lot, just being really sarcastic.
Indeed. Look, you got a chance to prove it this week.
Mm-hmm.
The problem that the Georgia Bulldogs have is that we don't have a chance to get out from under this for a while. Like, if you come out and you play one-score games with some of these SEC teams on the rest of your schedule, there's going to be a lot of questions about you.
No doubt. And I saw things from your defense that would make me nervous.
Yep.
Now, you corrected them at halftime because you got a really smart coach.
All right, moving on here. Either, neither, or both, Jeremy. With a loss this weekend, who's fired on Monday? Is it Brandon Staley of the Los Angeles Chargers, or is it Jimbo Fisher of Texas A&M?
Both.
Both of them.
Both. Texas A&M got absolutely obliterated by Miami in the second half last week. And the thing about a guy like Jimbo Fisher, and I know this from personal experience because I was so close to the Florida State program while he was there, when you constantly have your hand out and you need more money and more facilities and more NIL and more all of those things, you really better put the product on the field, and Texas A&M's getting worse. We're officially to the point with Jimbo Fisher, I've never actually seen you be the offensive genius outside of 1 year with Jameis Winston when he won a Heisman. And I think it's to the point, I don't know that there's I could see Jimbo Fisher coaching Texas State in a year. I think that's on the table.
Wow.
You could go from record-setting contract coach to in the MAC, and it wouldn't shock me in the least. Because I don't think anybody's doing it.
Yeah.
You were a disappointment at Florida State. You were a disappointment at Texas A&M, and now you turn into Dennis Franchione or Mike Price. Oh, yeah, you remember when he was at UTEP? That was fun. That's the trajectory for Jimbo Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
The next bad loss, Brandon Staley's fired. That one's easy. You lose to the Titans, or not the Titans this week. Minnesota? They're in Minnesota this week.
Yeah, I think that's
right. Yeah, and you're a 1-point dog, which should tell you how Vegas feels about you.
Mm-hmm.
You lose that game, Elemento fired.
Yep.
Speaking of teams and their losses, we have 3 teams that I didn't really expect to be 2-0. So this is either, neither, all 3. Who do you actually believe in? Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Washington Commanders, Atlanta Falcons.
Neither.
None of them.
None of them. None of them. Look, Tampa's beat 2 bad teams to start this season, but this is still not a good team. Maybe I'm doing that thing of doubting Baker Mayfield like we doubted Geno Smith when his year started well last year, but I'm not putting anything into that start.
I believe in no way do I believe in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I haven't believed in the Atlanta Falcons in the preseason going up to now. Great, they got 2 wins, but really hasn't impressed me all that much.
I fully believe in the Atlanta Falcons.
And
the defense is really good,
Mm-hmm.
and they can run it down your throat.
And then the Washington Commanders, I just feel like you're so far behind everybody else in your division that you're not really relevant to me.
They're better than the New York Giants. I've sat on that for 4 days wanting to talk myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than the Giants.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's the first 2 weeks of the season. There's no doubt.
And I believe in Sam Howell. He looks very much like the quarterback that I thought he would. Chase Young had a sack and a half last week. You get him back and healthy, and you can be a fly in the ointment. Am I telling you can make the playoffs? You're going to need some help, but you could do it.
Mm-hmm.
You have great weapons if the defense improves. I believe in Washington to a degree, Atlanta fully, Tampa Bay not at all.
Really? Okay. There are 2 cities in the NFL that have 2 teams apiece, New York and L.A. Either, neither, both, Jeremy. What city's fans are in more turmoil right now? Is it New York fans or L.A. fans?
Both. What team of the 4 you just said is the one that you feel really hunky-dunky about? 2 weeks through the season, who do you feel good about the on-field product?
I feel best about the Rams, I guess.
Oh, you mean the team that needed to be real bad so they could draft a quarterback of the future because they have a 36-year-old quarterback they tried to trade in the offseason? I think they're both miserable.
Mm-hmm.
You thought the Chargers were going to be a Super Bowl contender. They're not. You thought the Rams were going to be awful and there was a possibility that Caleb Williams was just going to carry over from USC right down to SoFi Stadium and play for the Rams. He's not. Jets had Super Bowl aspirations. You don't. Giants had playoff aspirations. You don't. There's no happiness here.
Mm-hmm.
They're both miserable.
I will disagree with you, and I will say New York is far more depressed than the L.A. fans are right now because
I will say New York's more depressed, but I think they both are not thrilled with the state of affairs.
At least L.A. has the L.A. Rams. Not that many of them care because we've all seen how they show up for those games in L.A., but still, you do have the Rams fans because they didn't believe that they were that bad, right? If you're a Rams fan, you believe that this was all going to work itself out, and we still got Stafford, we still got Kupp, we still got Donald, we still got Sean McVay. We're going to still win games. And
Most of them did not,
and we
just
all
to be
doubted
clear.
you. We all doubted you. But
Most
now,
of them
but now
did
you're
not,
winning
just to be
without Cooper Kupp, and I feel like of all four of these teams, Rams fans they should be happy right now. That could all change, but you're happy for the moment.
All right, I have one more real quick before we have to take a commercial break.
Okay.
2 receivers have started incredibly slow. Jamar Chase, A.J. Brown, both guys that we thought were going to be top 5 receivers in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Either, neither, both. Who are you worried about?
Neither. They'll figure it out.
I'm
Joe
kind
Burrow,
of in the same boat.
Joe Burrow's not going to be bad, and they'll figure this out with A.J. Brown. They'll stop running this college offense at some point and get more pro-ready, I guess.
If you told me I couldn't see neither, I would say A.J. Brown. Because the passing offense in Philadelphia is terrifying me. Because I don't know how it's going to get better without a complete overhaul of how Brian Johnson thinks. He could get better as a play caller, but if he doesn't, Philadelphia's in trouble because Dallas is in the process of lapping you as we speak.
Yep. This could be the week, though, that A.J. Brown just goes, see y'all.
Could be.
And he breaks out. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville. Jeremy's got bangers. Next.
Are you Beer City's best fantasy football player? Your chance to prove it is back. The Sportsocracy's battle for the belt is back for year 2 with 2 ways to win. Our standard contest and the new Eliminator Challenge for the most hardcore of football fans. Play fantasy football with us every week of the NFL season and compete for a cause with proceeds benefiting Eblen Charities St. Nicholas Project. Register today at thesportsocracy.com and take your shot at the title of Beer City's fantasy football champion.
At Ingles, we're proud to sponsor area athletics at all levels, whether we're building new fields for T-ball, celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. We're here for the fans. No one gets the dedication to the home team like you guys, and we've got all the sports you can handle. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Chief White House correspondent Kristen Welker joins me now.
From across the nation.
What is the #1 issue for you?
To the national stage.
And I welcome you to the final 2020 presidential debate.
When critical votes were counted.
Still too close to call.
And when power was held to account.
Is abuse of power an impeachable offense?
Kristen Welker met the moment. Now she joins Meet the Press as its new moderator.
If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press.
Sundays on NBC.
This week only, you can get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned plus a free hallway from Zero Res for only $109. This offer ends this week, so schedule your appointment now before it's too late. Schedule online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
Did you know COVID-19 related ER visits are 3 times higher than the flu? Stay up to date with the latest COVID-19 vaccines, just like you do with the flu, because you've got no time for 19. The vaccine may not be for everyone. Please consult with your doctor. Brought to you by Moderna, proud sponsor of the iHeartRadio Music Festival.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
My favorite parlay of the night. You got a college football game, you got an NFL game. We'll start in college. I already gave you Coastal Carolina minus the 6.5. I think they cover easily under the 62.5. A lot of running. Don't necessarily understand why that number is so high. It could burn me, but the number just doesn't make any sense. You take those two together, same game parlay, plus 275. Make 275 if you make a $100 wager. Now, add that to what you got in the NFL game. I'm going New York Giants plus the 10.5 to cover the spread, under the 44.5, and Deebo Samuel anytime touchdown scorer. Tonight feels like the night that they get him right. Brandon Ayuk doesn't have as favorable of a matchup. George Kittle, he was one I toyed with, and you're not catching enough value with Christian McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel feels like the layup. That makes that game plus 800. Wager 100, make 800 if those three hit. You combine them, it turns into a 5-pick parlay at plus 32.75. That means your $5 wager. If you put 5 on it, like I do, that turns into $168.75. You can take those wagers to betus.com. Use our promo code Sportsocracy to get a 125% deposit match and up to 30 risk-free bets so you can wager football with us all season long.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
That guidance still suggesting we keep the rain east, so I'm going to keep the rain east of us. So if you are traveling later tomorrow night, at least into the beginning of the weekend, rain and gusty winds as you continue to head east. This afternoon, actually pretty nice. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds, 75. Tonight, 53, cooler spots, 40s. Tomorrow morning, a little fog, then sunshine, 75. Saturday and Sunday, sunny, highs close to 75. From the Weather Channel, Ray Staging.
Having pain like that and not knowing how you caused it and for how long it's lasting, it's debilitating.
QC Kinetics patient Diane Richardson hated not being able to live her life to the fullest due to joint pain. But then she called QC Kinetics, where regenerative treatments helped her pain go away.
The result was phenomenal.
QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in using natural biologics to restore and repair damaged joint tissue.
This was a great alternative for me as opposed to going in and possibly having surgery or something else. There was no downtime, and that's what I loved. My life is too busy for me to be sidelined.
If you're tired of constant pain from arthritis or injury, don't think the old treatments are the only treatments. Discover regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics.
Just to feel good and know that I'm out of pain is the best thing ever. I'm able to do everything that I want to do.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
The Sportsocracy.
It fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio. Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. And, of course, we are heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. Seen everywhere.
But, man, it